Hey y'all, I hope y'all are having a great day because it was an absolutely gorgeous one. Yesterday, uh, March 3rd, leading into April, I have to say shout out to my very close friends, Beyonce, Alice, and my Santa, Blanca. If it wasn't for y'all two ladies hauling my ass back and forth, I would make no money because ain't nobody gonna pay to haul. So I say thank you to Blanca who today took me to get my hotspot so that way while I'm on the next part of my life, catching the next vibe over, catching my vibe wave over to my next reality, um, I can keep in touch with everybody and still maintain some semblance of work. I don't know. I never really had a work schedule before. I guess now I have time to start one. Well, anyway, so thank you for that. And she also took me to pick up the center peak column of my 3 bedroom beach condo that I'm going to be staying at this summer, but it might not always be on the beach. I'm actually keep this little tidbit hint, hint, hint for where my future might lie. I don't know. I just had a little uh, a what's it called? I had a feeling. I had a yes, I had inspiration. I had inspiration, and this place came on my radar. It's called Ever Free Equestrian Center and or equestrian rehabilitation center or something like that. Anyway, it's a horse farm, and the horses are rescued horses. Plus, they use those horses in helping in the treatment of children that are on spectrum with learning uh, differences. So I thought that was great. But the thing I thought was even more great about it is that they have four, four, four camping spots, and that's all they have. And when I've looked through other reviews, there's never been a review, so I don't know if they've ever rented out one of these camping spots. And $10 a night. $10 a night. It's in the horse pasture, I think, which might not be the best circumstances in the middle of summer, but for $10 a night, that's $3 a month for a place to stay. Electricity and water, shack, so access to the city will be easy. You have a vehicle, know how to build your bike, so there's always that backup. But that'll get me where I'm going, where I need to be, and keep the dogs with me with my trailer. So that's all cool. So, and then I thought, well, cool. Like maybe they haven't rented any of these spots the entire time that they've had them. It's been a couple of years. I go, but they built them for a reason, probably to bring in more revenue for this ranch because it's a rescue center and nonprofit. So I thought, and from the descriptions of the camping sites, they were actually very forthcoming and very, even though there's no pictures, very, I guess, from what I believed, from what I read, to be honest descriptions of the campsites, and it explains that the power might be via the bug zapper 200 feet away, and the water might be via the other campsite that is 180 feet away in the other direction, but they were able to put a cutoff on both sides, and maybe the camping ring isn't really a camping ring, but just a hole, But yeah, it's all cool though. Like I say, $10 a night. Hello, hello. Even I can afford that, and I'm homeless. How hellbilly is that? Well, anyway, so I thought, well, that'd be a great place, like I say, to stay and still be close to the city and still be able to maybe get some work done while I'm at it, which is always a positive situation. Not always positive. Anyway, and then I thought, well, hell, $70 a week. That's hardly like Bella Hay. Maybe they need my services more. Maybe they need me to help fix up their campsite areas in order to bring in more revenue. Because I know if I'm camping there, I want to bring out a couple of friends with me for at least a couple of weekends throughout the summer. You know what I mean? So maybe update the camping facilities or clean out the horse barns. It's crazy, but I love the smell of horse manure, so bring it on. You know, the blessings in life. You should be surprised. I'm blessed because I love the smell of horse manure. Actually, I know a lot of people that do. Anyway, so that might be on the agenda. But so she had me go get my centerpiece for my tent, which is my 3 bedroom beach condo. And then she took me to actually the most important place today because I haven't told you yet. The landlord who, asshole. Anyway, he has been noticeably silent and hasn't bugged me at all. Tomorrow's the first. I was supposed to have been out. I was supposed to have been out on the 12th. The 12th this month. Tomorrow's the first of the next month. Not a peep. Not a knock on the door. Not a word. I did get a note yesterday saying, "Are you aware you're behind on your rent?" Hello, we've been behind on our rent for 6 months. Like I said, we refused to pay for the last 6 months because we weren't going to stay here, and you're such a freaking. But anyway, so I thought like, kind of odd. And then all these people. Remember when I moved? Other people took that as a sign. So, well, Tiffany and Zach, who's people I moved who didn't work out as roommates but still live as friends, they're back. They're back behind me. And they said the landlord's been calling him, saying that his purpose wasn't to get everybody to leave the complex. That wasn't his goal at all. His goal was just to set up the guidelines, and maybe he was a little bit rough about it coming in as a new manager, and maybe he didn't analyze the situation uh, properly or given enough information properly. And he said that no one wants to rent the places out. That no one likes the apartments. And to my friend Tiffany said, yeah, of course. Have you read the freaking reviews? And he's like, yeah. He goes, but my goal wasn't to clear everybody out. You know, my goal was to improve the situation. He goes, so I just want to have an understanding and work out a payment plan, and I'm going to bring everybody back into like back. You know, no one's going nowhere. No one's going nowhere. In fact, even Bill and Carlos are back. Me, Bill and Carlos. Me, yes. Bill, you know, everyone knows the story about Gat. And my friend Tiffany knows. And I told him, did you tell him about Bill? She said, like, no, I didn't say anything. And I go, so he said I'm back. And she said, yes, he said you're back, that you're living, you're back there and you're living there. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of explains why there's been no knock at the door and no even attempt to evict. Not even say like, hey, you need to go. Not even that. Like, or when you leaving. None of that. None of that. He's using me and Bill in order to bring the people back that left when we were the catalyst and trying to re-explain the situation, which I think is great. You know what? Give everybody a second chance. You know what? That manager, if he realizes he did wrong for real and he's speaking the truth, I don't know because I haven't spoke to him. And you know what? That in itself is kind of a whole change 180-degree thing. So maybe he does realize that he might have fucked up somewhere. Oh, well, that, and plus he tried some illegal eviction things in the past. So maybe he's twice shy now. But anyway, the thing is, he's telling everybody that we're back, and people are coming back, and it's kind of cool because it's like the same people that I stayed there for before, who, after the manager came in, made it made it that even though I loved him, wasn't worth it because the manager made her life hell. I even told him, "You wear your arrogance like a cloak, which makes you very predictable." And then I also said, I said, you must really hate your job. I go, I can tell you just hate your job because the way that you treat everybody, I go, you're so condescending and so judgmental on everybody. I go, I know you fucking hate this place. I go, and the sad part is we had to live here. How do you think we freaking feel with a manager like you? Anyway, and he actually chilled out a little bit after that. He said, you know what? You know, like, send me your concerns and we'll talk about it. And he's a preacher. He's or a preacher on the week on Sundays. I hear he's a preacher on Sunday. He has his own church. So, all right, standing might work. Oh, me. The other day, I went to the churches, to the archdiocese or whatever, to get a food bank, and I was trying to find the closest place in my neighborhood, and the closest place in the neighborhood was actually this church that my sister and her husband and their kids, where kids went to school at, and what they attended. And I remember one time my sister said that she just hoped one day I would get saved, implying that I wasn't. And I got the same shit from a preacher yesterday when I went. He's like, do you mind if I pray with you? And I'm like, he's like, well, what do you think the outcome's going to be? And I said, you know what? I think the outcome's going to be the best outcome imaginable, no matter what the fuck it is. Well, I didn't say fuck, but no matter what it is. And he says, well, you do realize that God is present in your life. I go, yes, I see him in all the imperfections. And he kind of smiled and said, "The imperfections. You realize God's perfect, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, and you do realize you cannot see perfect. It's the only way for you to see perfect is against the imperfections. Line up." And he kind of thought that that was a flippant because it was. And then said, "Can I pray?" I said, "Sure." And went on to a 5-minute prayer saying how he hopes I can take a closer walk with God, and how I can hope to find his voice, and how uh, uh, I was in an error in my ways, but that the Lord was going to lead me back to where I needed to be. And I said, "Are you implying that because I'm in need, I'm not saved?" And he said, "No, no, no, I'm not implying that at all." And I said, "Oh, so that's just your standard prayer for people that come in for help." And I left. And you know what? That's the same attitude I got for my sister, except it's been 10 years, and now I know where she gets it from. Oh, well, anyway, so the last place I went was the liquor store because the landlord hasn't bed me. I have a roof over my head. All the old people were coming back. Hello, it's time to have a fucking neighbor. One last labor trap at the old trap. Bringing in stay. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.